What's going on, you guys? This is going to be a different kind of video today. They just announced the Super Star Destroyer for Armada in the official article, and so we're going to talk about it a little bit. First off, there's a whole lot to process with this Super Star Destroyer video. First off, I talked a little bit in a live video yesterday, but the fact that there's 4 different ship cards is huge. Like starting at like 220 points and just moving up and up from there. There's 2 tiers that aren't even legal in a 400-point game. So it means there's going to be multiple tiers of support over 400. Multiple. So that's just awesome. I mean, support is kind of a loose word I'm using here because it might end up being like only for casual games at that point, which I'm fine with. I actually love that. Absolutely love that. I think a lot of people, especially at the con, because I'm working Gen Con right now, a lot of people are coming up and talking to me about Armada and saying, "Oh, well, I wish there was more. I wish there was more video or more announcements for the other, like what else is going to be there? Is there going to be other Rebel ships or whatever?" Well, in the article today, they're being really cool, and they also give you the exact measurements. It's going to be 24 inches, exactly 2 feet long, which is cool. I have some video coming up later in this where I actually have some close. They put some other ships out. So we're going to be able to take a look at it compared to other ships as well, which is very nice. But another thing that's kind of cool is this article talks about the huge ships. Which is just really good because you can get a little more information. It's a new class of ship, and they say ships. There's like, this is the first of the new huge ships. So like, well, they don't say this is the first of the new huge ship, but they basically imply there's more huge ships coming. This is not going to be the only huge ship they do, which is good because there's a couple of other options that easily could be huge ships. The Radus could be huge, while still being smaller than this. It could be a huge ship. The Dreadnought from the Mandator 4 Dreadnought. Huge ship, easily. Again, maybe not as quite as big as this, but still a huge ship. And we're just getting started. The Malevolence, if they do Clone Wars, again, I'm gonna keep hammering these guys about Clone Wars, and I think the Clone Wars stuff is going to be dependent upon the success of these. The Clone Wars launching an X-Wing and Legion first. And if those drastically underperform, then maybe they won't push forward. But so we'll need to make sure we support those other games as well. Well, I plan to. But the Lucre Hulk, there's other huge ships in other factions and stuff. So the Rebels might not get a huge ship. The Resistance may end up having a huge ship. Who knows? I think a good companion for this would be the Starhawks. I think Starhawks would be great, but so the fact that they're huge ships is awesome. There's 6 arcs, and they talk about some of the things that all huge ships are going to have. So huge ships. This new class of ships has powers that reach far beyond mere size. For instance, the Super Star Destroyer features a total of 6 firing arcs, and this doesn't say that all huge ships are going to have 6. So I think it's reasonable. That might be the case. Supplementing, you also have a left auxiliary and right auxiliary. It sounds like the rear left and rear right are the auxiliary ones, whereas the front left and front right are just left and right. For purposes of things like Akbar, the auxiliary arc isn't going to count. So you may just have to only fire from the front left and front right if you were going to use Akbar on them or something like that. All right, so what else? Oh yes, and it's time for you to launch your attacks. Huge ships also have the unique ability to pass. This is good. Once per round, when you would have activate the Super Star Destroyer, you can immediately instead pass, allowing your opponent to activate another ship. So they have Strategic Advisor built in. And again, that's when you would have to activate the Super Star Destroyer. It says when you would have to. So does that mean it has to be your last ship? You can't pass first? I think that seems... Yeah. That's interesting. Although he must still activate each round, the ability to pass to delay can be, and that's a huge ship thing too. It sounds like that's a huge ship thing. And even the command dials you assign become more powerful because whenever you do a command dial, you also get the token for free. Well, it says when you resolve one of these command tokens, even the command dial, the wording is wrong here. The token is you'll assign the correct corresponding tokens to your ship. It's not the same thing. So basically, when you do a dial, you get the token. Well, since the wording is a little scratchy here, we'll wait and see. But it sounds to me like you have Leia automatically for all huge ships, which kind of stinks. Because then, does that mean the Rebels will never get a huge ships? Because then you can't run Leia with a huge ship? You know, it would be nice if the huge ships could have 2 of the same tokens, so they could potentially, like, that should be a special thing for huge ships. Like, you should be able to use Leia and a huge ship if the Rebels were to ever get one. And that might even be worthy of a house rule if they don't. But maybe they'll FAQ that. That doesn't seem like an unreasonable request. Just say, can I have 2 concentrate fire tokens? I mean, it's not, what's that going to really break? 2 engineering tokens might be kind of strong, but I just don't like them giving, oh, this whole class of ship has the same ability that Leia gives, you know, like, so maybe the timing and everything works slightly differently. Maybe you get the token like after your chance to do Leia would happen or something like that. So let's take a look at some of these the cards. They give us one of the ship cards and Palpatine. All right, so the Star Dreadnought Command prototype. This is our entry-level version. I got 4 red, 4 blue in the front arc, 22 hull, 2 anti-squadron, 4 command, 5 squadron. So really 6 squadron, because if you do a squadron, you automatically get the token. Only 4 engineering, which is interesting. I guess, you know, they do want you to have a chance to die, I guess. You know, and look at this, the front 3 red in the front and left, you know, the front left and right, and then the back, the auxiliary 2 red. So, you know, it's nasty, but it seems reasonable. It's slow. It's really slow. It can only go straight. So it has to do a nav to try to even turn. And look at all these upgrades. It's literally insanity. So many upgrades. You got 3 officers. Of course, you got gunnery team. Yeah. And 2 command, fleet command, and offensive retrofit. Okay, ion and turbo laser, 6 defense dice. Beautiful. And then Palpatine, after deploying fleets, he plays a defense token of each type on this card. As a start of the ship phase, you may discard one of those, and if your opponent spends it, they have to lose it, which is kind of nuts. It's basically intel officer every turn for your whole fleet. It is a way of looking at it, which I really want to run with the Architon, so he'll be a lot of fun. Now let's take a look at some new video I got today at the con. They put some extra ships out so we could get a shot of the Super Star Destroyer next to a couple of other Star Destroyers for comparison. All right, just doing some extra video footage of the Super Star Destroyer next to other ships. I'm going to upload this later as a standalone, because the stream was kind of blurry for some folks. And it's hard because the ships are a little farther away and they're still in the case. So if from this angle, I'm right next to the ISD, so it doesn't look as big from there, but that's actually a pretty cool shot. This thing will be, they say in Q1 2019, so it could be as late as March. The question is, do you buy 2 of them or just 1? Let me see if I can get it. Pardon me.